Hello everyone, I am Miss Divya Verma, teacher of Social Science, Class 7, Mount Literacy School, Jhansi. So today students, we are going to start chapter of Civics, that is chapter number 4, Growing Up as Boys and Girls. As you all know, there are different types of inequalities which exist in our country, like gender inequality, religious inequality, caste inequality. So today in the chapter we'll be focusing some facts based on the gender inequality. What are the causes of gender inequality, what are its preventions, and many more things we are going to study in this chapter. So now also, if you'll see, in many villages and towns there still exists gender discrimination, which generally starts from home only, like discrimination between the education of boys and girls. Many things are there which happens still in the villages. As you all must be knowing, being a boy or a girl is an important part of one's identity, and the society we grow in teaches us what kind of behavior is acceptable for girls and boys, what boys and girls can or cannot do. We often grow up thinking that these things are exactly the same everywhere. But do all societies look at boys and girls in the same way? Do you all agree with this? We will see in this chapter that how some discrimination still happens in many towns and villages. As most societies value man and woman differently, and the roles women play and the work they do are usually value less than the roles men play and the work they do. So here in this chapter there are some inequalities between men and women which emerge in the area of work nowadays, and the societies make clear distinctions between the boys and girls, and this becomes a way of telling children that they will have different future when they become men or women. If you will see more differences, like there are differences in growing up of boys and girls, like since childhood girls are told to take care of the siblings and they have to continue looking after some small children and do household works even when they grow up. And even from childhood only, girls are brought up in conservative environments, and girls are given to play with dolls and boys are told to play outdoor games, as well as they are given cars and all to play. So this is, we can say, a stereotype thinking related to the girls and the boys. Stereotype is what? Stereotype, we can say, it is a fixed idea or fixed mindset about a particular type of person or a thing, which is often not true in reality. Okay, so this is what stereotype thinking is. Like still in some villages and all, people say that mothers are meant for cooking and men's are meant for working outside the home. If anyone says who cooks the food, you all will answer mother cooks the food. So this is what our thinking says. Okay, so these are some discriminations done to the boys and girls, and there are various discrimination, like separate activities for boys and girls are there, or giving activities that involve more physical caliber like wrestling and martial arts to boys, and suggesting soft games like badminton and volleyball to the girls. So this is what mindset is to the people. Similarly, education for boys is preferred over girls education, like still in some places boys are preferred more for education. Like this is also an example, we can say, of gender discrimination. And if you can see, in the cities the problem of gender discrimination is not as much as in the villages, as nowadays in cities parents are more educated, who feels like girls and boys should not be discriminated, and who feels that girls are no less than the boys. So these examples, or we can say that these can be the causes of gender inequality in India, like stereotype thinking related to girls safety and upbringing differences, means which are meant through from childhood only, and then preference to male child due to society outlook, and education is preferred preferred more to boys than to girls. So these all can be the causes of gender inequality in India. So let us see a story growing up in Samoa in the 1920s. So in this story, let us see what is there. A Samoan island are part of large group of small island in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean. So if you can see, here is Samoan Island near the Pacific Ocean. In the 1920s, according to research report on Samoan society, children did not go to school. Means their children were not allowed to go to school. They learned many things such as how to take care of children or do household work from older children and from adults. And fishing was very important activity on the island. Means their children used to take care of the elder, of their younger brother, sister, and fishing was very important activity over there. Young people learned to undertake long fishing expeditions also, but they learned these things at different points in their childhood only. There, as soon as the babies could start walking, their mothers and other adults no longer looked after them. Means older children, often they were of 5 years age, took over the responsibility. Both boys and girls looked after their younger siblings, but by the time a boy was about 9 years old, he joined the older boys in learning outdoor jobs like fishing and planting coconuts and all. Girls had to continue looking after small children or do errands for adults till they were teenagers. But once they became teenagers, they had much more freedom. After the age of 14 or so, girls also went on fishing trips, working in the plantations, learned how to weave basket. Cooking was done in special cooking houses where boys were supposed to do most of the work while girls helped with the preparations. Means this all was done in the Samoa villages where children were not used to go to school, they were not sent to the school, education was not important over there. So this way, from the childhood only, they used to work. So can you see here in Samoan Island what happens? Children were sent to work instead of sending them to school. Means their children were not focused on the studies, instead they were focused on doing work and taking care of their siblings. So these all were the examples of gender inequality. In the next session we will be learning more about this chapter, about the rights of women, the steps taken by the government for the women and all. So read the chapter from NCERT as well as from LR. Try to find the exercises of milestone 1. Thank you.